Namaste. Today I'm going to talk in the spiritual thing about the how a guru would behave. Now many people do not know how to judge a guru. They think a guru is a person who will have a long beard, who have many followers, and also they have a very impressive car, and probably few of them wear gold chains. These are the gurus people get very impressed across. Now this is not the qualification of a guru. It is actually quite opposite to whatever you are expecting into your life. Now this is a misunderstanding which many people have in their life. The first qualification of a guru is you don't ask questions to your guru. The moment you go into his presence, he should be able to answer your questions. Suppose you have some questions, some fear, doubt, dilemma in the thing, he will be able to answer the question even without you asking them. This is the first sign of spiritual greatness. Now, many people claim a lot of spiritual greatness without understanding that it is not mind reading. They have so much of compassion, they have so much of love for the people who are in front of them, that the moment you have the question in the mind or you keep on thinking about a problem, they will be able to pick your thoughts and they will be able to answer it. Asking physical questions shows a lot of limitation in the human guru. A human guru is a person who is in tune with God, who is tuned with the Akashvani, who is tuned with the Adesh of reality of life. So the God will make him speak certain things which will resonate in people's life. Your life and his words will have a resonance, you will have solution, you will have mental clarity, suddenly your fear will go away. It is as if this very moment your life will be like that. That is the first sign of spiritual greatness. The second sign of spiritual greatness is if you are going to be a yogi, most of them will not lie down and sleep. They will sit and sleep, and mostly they will sit in the bardo seat. It is called as the sleeping seat in the Tibetan Buddhism. So if you ask your guru, he will say, even the sleep is used for my prayer time. That is how it is being done across. Now many so-called yogis have no idea about such a thing exists itself. They would like to sleep, and they would like to sleep pretty hard and using the air conditioner and all that thing. The third most important point of the guru is the guru will not like to touch money. The guru will have a Sri Karyam. Sri means ladies. There will be ladies who will be helping them with the money. Now you take the life of the great Ramakrishna Paramahans. He had the Rani Rasamani Devi who used to spend a lot of money for him as a person. In fact, he was so adamant that one day he went to Kashi. He asked all the sadhus to be fed in the Kashi. Now that person who was in charge was so annoyed, but the Rani Rasamani told him that you go ahead and spend the money, there's nothing, because my guru were to ask for it. So please understand, they never touch money. In fact, in life of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, somebody kept a 1 rupee coin. Is actually his body shivered. So the point is, the love of money, the love of women, Kami Kanchanam will not be there in these kind of people across. The other one is they will always be focused in the I met one sadhu who said very beautifully, the aim of life is God and everybody is doing only sadhana to reach God. It is an illusion to think that beggar is not doing the sadhana towards a God. It's only us who are doing the sadhana. It is wrong, he said. So in a similar way, everybody is doing the sadhana. They will look the whole life as nothing but sadhana towards God. Whether you are making money or you're screwing somebody's happiness, or you're screwing a woman, or women screwing you, or any kind of a thing across, it is just sadhana, sadhana, sadhana for them. The other most important thing is they have a very simple life. One day I went along with Swami Shantananda. I had only a small TVS bike. I said, will you sit in my bike and come? He said, yes, I will come in your bike. He used to travel only in third class. Later they upgraded him to the AC class. He never used to travel by flight. I have seen a lot of monks who are an embodiment of simplicity. They don't have lavishness, they don't have splendor, they don't have showmanship. They are very, very simple in their lifestyle. They are very simple. It's very easily approachable. The point with many of these people have is all these so-called modern gurus are not simple at all. They have Lexus car, they are very luxurious, their love for luxury will overtake anything. So that is mannasai, pennasai, ponnasai. All these three asai are in excess. So be careful if your guru is not a simple one. The other point is they will always talk about religious oneness. They will not pit against one religion against the other, one man against the other, one woman against the women. They always talk about religious oneness, that God is one, that the God is formless and nameless, yet they will be focused on their sadhana. You go to them, they will always be focused in the sadhana. One time I met a great sadhu. I met him at about 9:30 in the night. He said, Gopal, I had traveled all the way from Pondicherry. I'm very tired. Sorry, I can't accommodate you. And he gave me some prasad and asked me to leave. Such is the level of humility. They are not for rich people. They are not for very, very super class of people. They are just for ordinary people. It is said in the life of Ramana Maharishi that you can approach him anytime. You can buy him a cowpeen, which is the loin cloth, and give it to him as a person. Now, these so-called modern gurus are only for very, very rich people. It is like they are super rich. You ought to be extraordinary to be near to them as a person. The other most important thing is they don't speak. They speak less. They don't go on giving discourse after discourse after discourse. Generally, they prefer silence to the language, because silence is the language of God. Speech, Vaikari, is very, very limited across. So they normally don't use so much of speech. The other most important thing is they are ever forgiving. In life of Ramana Bhagavan, somebody came and stole all his money and beat him black and blue. Somebody said, why don't we approach the police station? Ramana Bhagavan said, everything is an illusion. This body itself is an illusion. Why do we need to go about it? They will not go into court case. They will not go into fighting battle. They will not make their life hell compared to the other person across. But a lot of miracle happens. Life becomes peaceful. Life becomes harmonious. Life becomes what you call, it is as if it is set in that. Now that simplicity, that happiness, that life moving in like that will not be there in terms of a fake guru. The fake guru will have a lot of chaos. I heard people jumping off the walls, trying to run away, trying to get beaten, trying to fight. No guru would ever do that. They will simply say, do the sadhana, God will take care of you. No need to do publicity, no need to do anything across. Just you do it, God will take care of you. The other one is the loving kindness is so much that you will feel that love is immense. Somebody went to Shankaracharya and said, I have no money, I have only one Nellika, I have only one gooseberry, I will put it for you. The moment he put, Adi Shankara felt so much of compassion and so much of a thing. He prayed to the goddess. He said, may you bless this woman with so much of wealth that she feels fulfilled about it. It is said it rained gold. I do not know whether the story is true, but the compassion of the teacher is so immense immense that somebody told me, even my father, mother, girlfriend, children did not love me the way my Guru must have loved me across. That is why Jalaluddin Rumi says very beautifully about his teacher, his Guru. He said, he looked into my eyes and he set my heart on fire. Shamsuddin, I am gone. So the point is, you will have spiritual longing, you will have spiritual thirst, you will have spiritual focus into your life. You will not be wasting your time about unnecessary things. You will be very, very focused on the spiritual thing. It is not about doing seva. It is about prayer without ceasing will be brought into your life. You will normally become silent. You will become peaceful. And suddenly you will be like as if you are born again. So remember, these are the qualities of the Guru. It is not like having a long beard and wearing cooling glasses and talking to actresses and jumping around like fools and idiots. It is like a prayer. You will feel the presence of prayer in front of a great teacher, that you know the God runs the shows across. I pray God that may all of you get a good teacher. India has a very afflicted horoscope. The Guru is in the 6th house. That is why we have rogues who are being as a teacher across. I pray God that may all the people who see this video, may they have good gurus. May they always try to get the spiritual guidance what they are looking into their life. Thank you so much.